Hey everyone, welcome to Jedihood. We're back for more, back to another portion in the book of Proverbs, and goodness sakes, it's confirming what we've already read earlier. I mean, we're already in the portion 22. We're already going over Proverbs that have already been explained earlier, but it's revealing more truth. It's revealing more truth about the situation, and it's confirming a matter. It's expanding on the matter. It's really redundant, actually, because it's saying, look, if you didn't get it the first time, we're going to explain it again so you get it down. And this is to help us grasp the truth. There's no twisting this. We can see what it says in Scripture. That's important. And it reminds me of the situation when starting the Jedihood message back in early 2016 with my friend Aharon. And really appreciate him standing up with me and getting that original series out, because what was said on that series, not many people, essentially, a lot of whole communities disagreed with what was being said, but the father told me to speak out, give the truth, and sure enough, it happened. And everyone thought everything was all right and good back in March 2016, but was noticing the signs, saw what was going on, and it was made clear to speak out, because then it would not be on my head if this person didn't warn other people. Now, this person hasn't been promoting it. Maybe this person should, but had to walk a path of humility and say, look, if the spirits are not leading him to this truth, that's on their head. At least this person has told the truth and has given it out as this person should, and am being rewarded for it. And just looking throughout it, um, saw that the movies were going to fail. No one thought that back in The Force Awakens. It was, could see it, even before it was released, knew where it was going to be. It was going to lead to a dark trilogy, which eventually happened. And you know, there's no more critics to speak with me. The only thing they can do is ignore this person, right? Because people can't stand with truth. They have to hide into the shadows, into the dark. That's what people do. Have always given you the truth, even if this person would look bad in doing it. But over and over, it's been confirmed the issues, said that 2020 was going to be a difficult year, mentioned that, have always been true to the Father's calling in the Jedihood message, because this is a point in time to explain to you, especially people out there who may be looking at this fictional Jedi persona, or you fans out there, speaking to both groups, okay? Speaking to those who, you're in this fictional world, you're in this false reality, and it's time to wake something up that you're missing. You're missing the point, and that is, this is a training, right? You're trying to escape reality through these fictional stories. And when you realize that these stories are based on an original scriptural truth that we're supposed to apply today, and when we start applying these truths, we're going to be blessed. We're going to not escape into a world where everything's all cleaned up and makes sense, right? But we're going to be in this world applying truths today that we learn from this persona. And it's not just this Jedi persona, okay? It's the persona. It reflects, it's simply a mimic of a persona that is explained in the scriptures. Yada, to know. And it's a special knowing, it's a special access. Okay, Yod and Dalet, you've heard me speak about those. That is a special work. That is a special access to the Father. You see, that word, especially with particular prophets, not necessarily prophets, but called out ones in Scripture. Okay, they stand in the gap for people. That's where you get the term saviors or anointed, okay? Because when they came, when the people listened to them, they were saved. But when they didn't get heeded, that's when bad things happen. And you see that throughout Scripture. You see that with throughout Judges, through the prophets. You see that with Yeshua's life and his message. You see that through Moshe. You see that through these characters, okay? And they're supposed to teach us that when you see these people, you need to listen to them. It's not about them being this person we idolize. It's not about that. It's about they're the messenger. Instead of attacking the messenger, look at the validity of the message. And if you see that it's been proven time and time again to be true, maybe you need to listen to it. And again, this is not me trying to get on a pedestal just to show how right this person is. This is just a messenger giving the truth to you of what is reflected in this world. This world has not taken advantage of this word, okay, that we need to really grasp right now. We're not grasping these truths. And it took me 10 years to allow the word to get ingrained in me. That's when this persona, this guardian, began to show up. And had to get away from all that Star Wars fictional stuff to really get the message, because all of that was external, was focused on the internal, the spiritual. That's what we see, okay? That's what we see. This isn't a crazy person, okay? That's what they used to do in Scripture. They see this person out there, what a crazy old man out there. Haven't we heard that in Star Wars? That gives you a sign of what they're pointing to, okay? A guardian, okay? A person who speaks up, and pretty much, they'll, if they have to, they'll tick everyone off, but they're going to do what they're going to do, okay? They're going to warn the people because that's what they're supposed to do. It's not a big deal. People make this stuff a big deal like it's some great title of responsibility. No, it's simple. It's a really simple thing. It's a very important thing that our world needs to go through. People need to stand up and tell the truth, especially right now when there's a lot of plagues coming upon this world right now. We see the elite making big mistakes because they're being lazy and they can't adapt. They have poor adaptation right now and they don't see what's going on. That's on their heads. Their own judgments are going to come upon them. We know that from Scripture. So we're going to continue reading the book of Proverbs, and really am sensing some real transitions going on. And this is not going to go away. You can't bury your head in the sand, just as this person said some years ago. If certain communities would have listened to this message, they would have been ahead of the game. Okay? There was plenty of time. Plenty of time. Now we're here. It's still not too late, but now it's going to be harder. That's how it is. This person's been prepared. And it was when 10 years ago, it was simple. I've always been a believer, but this person didn't really take the time to look at the Scriptures and really do according to what I believed. Okay, when this person stood on the word and went away from the groups that strayed away from this book, that's when this person was blessed. When this person left my previous job, uh, did leave certain groups, started to focus on music, all of a sudden the blessings started to come, and he proved to me, look, when you do this, this will happen. It's cause and effect. You see it in nature. You see it everywhere. It's simple. The Father is life, and the ways against him are death. We see this in the book of Proverbs. So we're going to continue, and we're going to go over portion 22, just barely glanced at it. And this person doesn't like to pre-read, just a simple glance, but don't like to pre-read so that the Spirit can help us grow in this. I'm sensing I really don't want to speak about this, but am sensing after giving this book of Proverbs to transition to perhaps another platform. We'll see. Still want to do an updated video series besides this series, but uh, it's not about what I want to do, right? I have to be led by the Spirit to do it. And am going out here on this platform even though this person doesn't want to do it, so that some of you can hear the truth. And I'm not going to go uh, by these people's ways and stuff or try to tickle your ears. That's not as you can see, this person is not an ear tickler, okay? This person is going to tell you what you need to know at this point in time to survive, okay? If you want to survive out there, you got to know these principles, okay? If you break these principles, you're going to have curses, okay? If you do these, you're going to be blessed. It's as simple as that. And then however you try to twist it, however you try to ignore it, you know as well as this person does what's going to happen and what the results of your actions are going to be. So we're going to continue with portion 22 here. A good name, okay, you've heard me speak about a good name. You are what your name is. If you have a good name, if you have a bad name, maybe you should change it. Okay, because maybe that's leading into curses. Again, not necessarily what your parents called you. Maybe you're using a name on some other uh, media or platform or game or whatever. You are what your name is. Look to a good name, but it's not just a good name. It's good character, okay? Your name is of integrity. A good name is a person who has integrity. Look, we're just looking at 3 words here in English, okay, and we're already seeing a truth. We're not paying attention to what it's saying, okay? A good name is rather to be chosen. Now, what did that just say? You don't have to choose to have a good name. You don't have to be one of integrity. You don't have to follow virtue. You choose to do that. You're given the freedom to choose or if you're going to have a good name or a bad name. What's a good person? A person who has integrity. What's a bad person? Someone, even if they believe the truth, if they don't enact it, if they're not showing character, okay, and not standing up for truth, what does that do? That leads to falsehood. Is rather a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. Okay, great riches. Uh, we're all looking at great riches. What is better to be chosen? The good name. And loving favor. Now, is this favor between men? No, this is favor with the Father in heaven. Father in heaven. Okay, that connection. Favor, to have his favor, that's blessings, my friends. I'd rather have the Father's favor, okay, than a lot of what you guys are going through or what you're trying to do. See a lot of people trying to go their own way, do their own thing. We know, we all both know, we all know, and who's watching this, what that leads to. Rather than silver than gold, it's better to have favor. Okay, favor. How do you get favor? By obedience. Okay, moms and dads out there, how do children get favor? Because you always want to treat your children fairly, right? But how does a child get favor? If you had a child who really listened to you and obey you, you don't think they're not going to have favor? You bet they're going to, and they're going to have a good name. It's about character. It's about responsibility. Okay? Responsibility is important. It's important. The rich and poor meet together. So, what is it saying? Is there really any difference between the rich and the poor? Those of you who are striving for riches, and even those who are poor, meet together. In the end, they come together. What does it say? The Father is the maker of them all. Okay? He is going to set the path straight, no matter where we're at, no matter what riches that you may be in. Okay? The playing field is going to be set according to what the Father says. He is the maker of them all. Okay? And if for those of you who are complaining about such and such, go to the Father in heaven. Don't you think he understands? A prudent man, again, we've been talking about prudence for quite a few weeks here, created a video on prudence. You should see it because this person senses we're a trap that's happening, especially for these elite groups. They're they're not paying attention to the time period. A prudent foresees, so there's a seer, right? A prudent person foresees the evil. What's going on? They see it before, foreseeth the evil. That's why a person can come in years before it happens and say, look, because they see, they're a seer. It's not a big deal. Don't make it like this big new age thing. A person who is seeing the evil come to pass. Okay? This is a warning message. It started as a warning message, but it's also a message of truth, of trust and relationship with the Father. Once we get past the discipline, maybe we can learn a thing or two. This person, it's amazing because when this person was in class one time, the kids in there were so rowdy, it took a half hour just to calm the students down. Couldn't get to the test, administering the test, because they weren't prepared. They kept goofing off, and took a good 20 minutes to a half hour to discipline them and say, look, I'm not going to give you this test until you guys get your act together. Okay? And that's what Jedihood did, was basically, what you can't, we're not going to learn further truths here unless you get your act together. Okay? Until we're in a class of instruction here. Okay? A lot of these people trying to counsel people, but they don't have an orderly class. You have to have some order here, okay, and listen, okay, to what the Father has to say, okay? This person is tired, especially a couple years ago, last few years ago. Just, it gets tiring when you see people trying to find excuses and trying to pick apart things just to do it so they feel better. Okay, we're not going to play that game. That's child game. Okay, that's a children's game. That's what children do when they're trying to get their teacher to do something that they're not planning. Okay, you see it. Okay, parents, you know what this person's talking about. We're gonna stop the bull, okay, and get to the message. Maybe when we have quieted down and actually take a listen, we might actually learn something. Okay. Because a prudent man foresees the evil and hideth himself from evil, right? How many people are hiding themselves from evil right now? Okay. There's people out there, especially some who are watching this video, who's like, man, this crazy stuff going on, I'm not going to be a part of this stuff, and totally don't blame you. It was hard for me to do this, but the simple pass on. Okay, so the simple, the gullible, right? As he explained, that's how Proverbs mentions them. They're the ones that are easily swayed, pass on. They just go forward. How many people are just going forward? They're just listening to this manipulation that's going on, this mind control stuff, and they're just going forward because they're not being prudent. They think people have their best interests in mind. They actually think selfish people have their best interest in mind. My goodness. They think that they have, a lot of these people think they have their best interest in mind when they know they're selfish. They're just they're just fooling themselves. Even this person, when praying to the Father, he exposed, look, this person has to work on things. We have fallen. There's a selfish nature we have to control. Okay? We need to learn that. That needs to be put in check, because if it isn't, okay, this is what it leads to, this sinister manipulation. Isn't that what Sidious did? Of course that's what he did. And that's what you see people invoking that spirit, okay, to use people and make them feel like they're doing what, you know, it needed to happen anyway. I'm just doing what needed to be done. You guys, come on, come on. But the simple pass on and are punished. The simple are punished. Who are the simple? Okay? You see that reference of sheep, okay? If you see the characteristics of a sheep, they're very gullible, okay? But they're precious, they're innocent. Where's the shepherds protecting the flocks? You have a situation right now where these gatherings are being told not to protect their flocks, not to assemble, you know, where's the people who are going to stand up for principle? Because this is a telling time. This is a telling time. They're punished because the prudent man, right, is different than the simple. We have an opposite here. This is not to say, okay, that these words are not, these words are simple. They're made for the simple. They're made to uh, they're given to, right, those who are simple and gullible, okay, and those who may pass along this path here. What does wisdom do? We learned about this at the beginning of book of Proverbs. She speaks, she's personified, and she speaks out to the crowd. Listen, listen to wisdom. Listen, those who are just going through the gate, listen to wisdom. Listen, okay? Listen here. We can learn how to be prudent. We can foresee evil before it happens. If we're paying attention instead of having a great old time saying everything's all right and good, you think it's all right and good for them right now? No. Okay? They're eating their words. That's why they're not coming to me and saying, oh, ha, 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 ha. They're not doing that anymore because what happens to critics? They go away. Now, if this person was wrong, what would they be doing? They'd be pounding it over and over. Okay? But if they simply, we need to humble ourselves, my friends. And that's what it talks about in this next this next proverb. But humility, and again, the fear, respect, the awe of the Father, what are they? Three things here. Riches. So we already see what the rich and poor is, what's referring to riches. Riches is the prosperity, and honor. Again, honor. I don't see a lot of honorable people lately. And it is very frustrating because you're like, we just don't listen. Even to myself, I'll say, man, you make it so simple. Yeah, why do you make it so simple? Because you even have a hard time understanding. You got to humble yourself. You got to be broken down. Did a video on the Boken, the shepherd's rod. You should see that video. There's some really good videos this person made that you should really watch. Might need to give them out again. But the Boken, if you understand, even they understood this in the East, what the shepherd's stick would do, right? The goad, right, to the sheep, it would put them in their place. It would humble them because they're going the wrong direction. That's what the Boken does, okay? It's a training tool, okay? Let's keep going here. So we got riches, we got honor, and what, of course, we got this. We have life, okay? Life. So first, there's an order to this: riches, honor, and what's the most important? Life. Okay, you see that? You see, because we have life, we're focusing on life. We're focusing on an honorable life, and then at that point in time, once we have an honorable life, then comes the blessings. You see this application, this law. You see the law here. This leads to this. This leads to this. This is going to equal that. You see, it's very mathematical. In Deuteronomy, in the last chapters of Deuteronomy, you see the blessings and the cursings. Moshe wasn't just saying that. He said, this is going to lead to this, this is going to lead to this, this is going to lead to this. I'm telling you, that's what he's saying, right? He's saying, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. And if you don't listen, this is going to happen. And if you don't listen, this is going to happen. Because when you get in debt, right, that's what happens. But when you prosper, it overflows. Okay, it's a give and take, a give and take, ebb and flow. This is reality. This is reality. For every action, there is a reaction, right? If those who live by the golden rule, what's going to happen? They're going to be blessed. Those who frown upon it, what's going to happen? Thorns and snares. Thorns. We know what thorns are because we read about that in the time of Adam and Eve, right? Especially with Adam, thorns, right? And thistles, that hard, heavy labor, that didn't have to happen. It was because he wasn't listening. When we listen and do what he says, are thorns going to pop up? Now they may eventually come up, but what you're going to know what to do. You're going to know how to handle those thorns when you go out to pull those weeds. Okay, you're going to know how to deal with them. And snares, the traps. Okay, the serpent, the snare, right? Thorns and snares are in the way of who? The froward, okay? The prideful. So, for those of you who are prideful right now, what's going to happen? You're going to keep getting thorns and snares, thorns and snares, thorns and snares. See a person who constantly thinks that person's right. They're constantly getting thorns and snares, thorns and snares. Okay, you see it? These people who you see them, thorns and snares, thorns and snares. But he that keeps his soul, again, keeps his soul from what? Doing these evil things, right, shall be far from them. Now, it did not say they are not going to have thorns and snares, but it's going to be far from them. It's going to be very few and far between. And this is what this person's learned over the last 10, 15 years now, is the ways of life. Okay, if you follow them and you do what the Father says, you're going to be blessed. Okay, now don't think finance, don't think that. The blessing is in here. The blessing is in spiritual. Okay, once you realize the truth and how important this real riches are, the rich of the Father, to bless your life with family and relationships, you're going to see the blessings come. And you're going to see less thorns and snares. And this person has seen less and less and less, to the point there's no snares, and when they come, they're so easily taken away. I'm very confident because they fall so fast. And the thing is, it's captured on video. That's why this person recorded it. It wasn't to get everyone to watch it. It was to be an archive so people can see exactly what happened if they needed to question something, if they really needed to take the time. And I'm not expecting everyone to just stop and take a look at it. Thing is, knowing it's there, even if it's not watched, gives me great confidence. Okay, gives me great confidence. Can sleep at night. This person, when this person goes to bed, go to bed, wake up, and it's like a minute in time. My conscience is clear. Okay, when you can do that, okay, and you know you're walking the right path, that's a great insurance, isn't it? The Father's presence, you know you're guarded, you know He has His protection around you, you know He has your family relationships taken care of, your living situation taken care of, your work situation, you know it's all taken care of, right? Because when you know that, what do you have to worry about? Go to sleep, and time goes fast, really does. When at work, it seems like a couple hours only, because this person works hard, doesn't complain, do what this person says, obeys. What do you think's going to happen? Is there going to be thorns and snares in my workplace? They, yeah. We're prospering. We're prospering because we know when we apply principles like this, what's going to happen. Now, this person isn't saying, getting all preachy there, okay, but I'm allowing my actions to show the blessings of the spiritual realm. You see that? That's how this person preaches is through action. When people say, okay, why do you always prosper, Yehunatan? Okay, maybe because this person is following particular principles. And for those who are having problems, maybe you need to look at yourself and say, man, maybe I'm doing it wrong. And that's the real point of honesty and sincerity. If you are really looking at honor and integrity, don't lie to yourself. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So what is it? Why is it important to train a child in the way he should go? Now, there's people who might say, well, I'm just here so you can figure it out for yourself. I'm just opening the door for you. No, it says train up a child in the way, okay, the direction he should go. That's an order, my friends. If you're not following that, what's going to happen? Do you think when he's old, he's the child is not going to is going to just do everything the way they should? No, they're going to fall. They're going to falter. You're setting your child up for failure. Okay? Because and again, when we're the father's child and we're getting trained, when we get older, right? When we get older and spiritually mature, we will not depart from it. And as you see, when following these rules, following these principles, this person, as time goes on, okay, it's easier and easier to the point you just can't depart from it. It's not even a choice. You just know this is the way it is. You're not going to you don't need to be challenged anymore because you succeeded in that challenge. There's no point like with the Jedi trials. If you go past the trials, there's no, you're always going to have challenges, but the challenges get more complex, more different. You're different. You don't have to go through the same hurdles over and over again if you've mastered it. Okay. Now again, mastering means overcoming. Okay. Okay. You're going forward. Okay. Training up a child in the way he should go, but when he's old, he will not depart from it. These are very simple proverbs. The rich ruleth over the poor. That is a truth. The rich ruleth over the poor. Okay. And again, that's the spirit. Again, we have to look at it spiritual. The spiritually rich people, they rule over the poor and malnourished spiritual people. That is not because I want to rule. That's not what it's saying. It's saying they will. That is the way of life. Uh, that those who are more spiritually inclined are going to instruct the poor of spirit. That's what Yeshua was doing. And the borrower is servant to the lender. Okay, we got to remember our place. Okay, if this person is getting books, getting words from this book, maybe we should be getting into more books after this. But the thing is, if this person's giving words to you, I'm not pretending it's my own. I'm the servant to the lender. You see, there's many people out there who are preaching this in their own religious faiths who they believe it's their own words. Okay. And what's that going to lead to? They're not being a servant. Okay, they're not being a servant and do what they need to do. They need to understand their place. We need a servant, humble mentality. When you have that mentality and you go out there and give the truth and be the messenger and do what needs to be done, that's when good things happen. You'll see the blessings. He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity. Seeing this over and over. Seen people who, especially from certain communities, who sow iniquity, and what did they do? They reap vanity. They reap vanity, selfishness, and the rod of his anger. Do you see that? The rod of his anger? How many? That's what this person saw. Rods of anger. That's what you see in with these Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, Darth Vader. These you see these Darths, right? That they have this rod of anger, especially Darth Maul. They shall fall. Okay, have in the spiritual realm, it was like I'm holding this rod. Okay, for the Father, it's not my own. Okay, and then what happens is these people go out in anger with their rods, and they're easily taken down. Okay, easily taken down. And this person's in when this person's in defensive mode, it's over. Okay, that's the thing, because it's not me. It's not me. He's given me supernatural abilities because I believe in him and I trust him. And not just trusting him, doing. Okay, Imunah. Look up that word, Imunah. Okay, that's a Hebrew understanding of trust. That's where faith comes. People say faith, but it's really about trust. It's about trust in the relationship with the Father in heaven. That's what it's about. That's why we say trust in relationship with Jedihood. He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. What shall fail mean? It's going to. Okay, it shall. This is what should happen. That's law language. Okay? Now, people may not follow the law, but this is what should happen. Get what I'm saying? This is what should happen. That's law language. Okay, and those who do not enforce the law, what's going to happen? These principles are going to be twisted and all kinds of things. We need to follow the law, because when we follow the law, there's going to be order in our lives. We're going to live in prosperity, not in spiritual prosperity. Okay, get outside the rut of this financial stuff. It's fleeting. Okay, we're only here for a moment. Okay, get it's up here. This is what it is. If you change, if you start believing and trusting and being humble, you're going to get blessed. You're going to get blessed. He that soweth the iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. He that hath a bountiful eye, okay, so the eye, what is, think of eye, we've already went through this, seeing, right? Not pretending it's not there, but seeing, right? And knowing. Bountiful, what does that mean? Seeing and acting on what is being seen, shall be blessed. Why shall he be blessed? For he gives his bread to the poor. You see the bread being given now? It's being given to you to eat. This is sustenance for you at this time. I want you to survive. You guys are starving out there, okay? You need the living bread. That's what you should have understood this, guys. If you think he understood, can't we understand it too? He told us greater works, right? Greater works will you do. Let's do those greater works. Cast out the scorner. Cast out the scorner. That's what this person do. You got to cast out these scorners. You got to cast them out and show them the results of their actions. This is what you should be doing. That's the law, okay? You should be standing up for honor and defending the weak and the innocent, and taking down these scorners, okay? That's what they need to know their place, okay? Because these wicked and innocent people need to have a place, and I'm defending those people. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. Yeah, it will be peaceful after that. After the fact, strife and reproach shall cease. That's why this person. I know people ask me to go back to the Jedi community. Things have to fall. Things have to fall. I'm transitioning. I'm not stuck in their reality. They couldn't grow. They couldn't grow. And it's sad. It's really sad to see people you cared about and knew for years doing things that you knew you saw the ditch right ahead of them, and they didn't listen to you. They didn't listen to their elder. What can I say? That's on them. That is on them. Okay? They are fallen. Their towers have fallen, just as this person said. And no one could say they weren't warned. It's total silence, isn't it? Total silence. He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, again, lips, speaking, giving the Spirit, the king shall be his friend. The king, the Father, shall be his friend for the grace of the lips. Okay? We're in a grace period, okay? We better get our act together. Let's learn this. Let's learn this. whether you are a believer in this Jedi, or even those who get into this religious stuff, or those of you who are fans out there, speaking to all of you, okay? All of you, okay? Let's learn these spiritual principles. Let's learn them. You see this within the Star Wars fiction of these principles. This is the source, okay? We are learning these truths. Let's learn these truths. Let's get them in our spirits. The eyes, right? The eyes. Okay, many eyes of the Father preserve. He holds on to, he doesn't let go. He keeps it clean, okay? He preserves knowledge. Okay, so if we really need to know a matter, who do you think is the preserver of knowledge? We should be going to the Father, the eyes, and he overthroweth. He overthrows. You see, guaranteed language, he overthrows. Does it say he's might do it? No, he's saying he overthrows the words of the transgressor. That's what he's going to do. If you stand on principle and keep practicing this, keep practicing that. Don't go into these new age books that teach you this stuff, that this fluffy stuff that is just going to get you into trouble. It's like a kid, okay, going in and it's like a kid going into the gun safe and playing with the guns and doing target practicing, and you're going to get yourself hurt because you don't know what you're doing. Okay, you don't do that kind of stuff. You think in a matter of 20 seasons, 30 seasons, 20 Earth rotations, or whatever. You think you're going to be smart enough to know how to handle this stuff? You are ignorant, my friends. Let's see. If you believe that, that's very ignorant. It's not. It's time to put down the adult tools, okay, and stop playing them like they're kids' toys. Don't do that. You're going to get yourself into trouble, okay? Let's go to the Father. He's a preserver of knowledge, and he's going to overthrow the words of the transgressor. We need to listen to him. Okay, we need to listen to him, and he will have our backs. He's going to show us as we grow. Okay, not prematurely. He's going to give us truth as we grow. Okay, as we grow, let's focus on him. He will tell us the truth. He will tell us this truth. All these new age thinkers, okay, they're just manipulating what it was original, okay, and you're gonna don't get yourself in that trap. The slothful man said, "There is a lion without. I shall be slain in the streets." Okay, so what does the slothful man? Well, he's looking at a lion. So what's the lion personified as? It's looking at this great king, right? This worker. I shall be slain in the streets. He's trying to find an excuse to get out of work. What does the lion do? What does the lion do? He gives orders. He gives, right, the whelp, the order, the attention. You better do what what the lion says. You better do what I say, or else, right? I shall be slain in the streets. What is he trying to do? He doesn't want to listen. Okay, he just wants to not do anything. So what does he do? He finds the excuse with the person. How many times do we see that? They find an excuse not to listen. Okay, we're finding excuses not to listen to the Father. Okay, we've been slothful. We need to say, look, your ways are true. We need to listen to them and stop trying to find excuses, okay, to get out of doing our work. The mouth of the strange woman, how many times? Is a deep pit. He that is abhorred by the Father shall fall therein. What's the strange woman? We learned about that. Watch those first videos of the book of Proverbs if you want to learn about the strange woman. What's the strange woman? The prostitute. We see that in Revelation. We see that in other places. The strange woman is going to get you in the trouble. Okay, she's going to say, "Well, I'm alone. Let's just have our fun." Let's get over. You're going to pay the price, my friends. We're following the mouth, the ways, what she teaches, right, of the strange woman who does these strange, in the spirit realm as well, these strange spiritual things that break spiritual truths is not clear, okay? We cannot listen to that. We cannot listen to that. Foolishness. Oh, it says, he that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. Where you're going to fall into the snare. Okay, don't you see there's a snare? It's like Delilah snaring Samson and his hair, his anointing. We don't want that to happen, okay? Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Okay, it's not wrong to be a child. There's times where we're foolish. We just need to say, look, we don't know. Okay, teach us, Father, teach us, Father. But the rod of correction, right? You see the rod of correction here? You see the rod of correction? Shall drive it far from him. The rod is going to drive the foolishness out of the child. Okay? The rod of correction. Now, this may sound, okay, politically incorrect right now, but we need to understand the principle here. Okay? See it spiritually. See it spiritually. Okay? The rod of correction will drive it far from him. The foolishness. We have a lot of foolish adults because they weren't given the rod of correction when they were children. And we're also teaching children to be fools. That's what we're teaching children to follow. You can be whatever you want, just do whatever you want. That's foolishness. What do you think's going to happen? Okay, we need the rod of correction. When you're old, okay, is that person going to be there to take care of you? You better know this. You better know this. Okay, he that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches. Almost everyone, this person, there's so many companies and people who are doing this to oppress the poor, increases riches. What's going to happen? And he giveth to the rich shall come to want. What does that mean? Okay? We need to pay attention, okay, and see that certain people are taking from us, are fleecing from us. Are we going to get ahead? No. Okay? What is this teaching? What is this teaching? Okay? It's teaching a truth that we can learn in economics. Okay? This is an economic truth. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, he that is given to the rich surely come to want. It says, he that giveth to the rich. What you're always going to be wanting. Think about that. Bow down thy ear. Bow down thy ear. Okay, what does that say? It's time to pay attention. That's what it's saying. Bow down thy ear. Humble yourself and actually let's listen to the Father's truth there. Let's all humble ourselves. Okay? Let's all humble ourselves and hear the words of the wise and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. Who's speaking? The Father. My knowledge. What's the words of the wise? It's going to give the knowledge that comes from the Father. Even those who may not recognize the Father are given the Father's knowledge if it came from Him. But we need to recognize who the source is because that's going to limit their wisdom. Okay, that's going to limit their wisdom. For it is a pleasant thing. It's a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. Keep what within thee? Okay. It is a good thing that you keep what within? This truth, okay, shall withal be fitted in thy lips. Fitted within, you'll have the Spirit within you. Keep it within you, that living water, that deep sprout, what deep spring well of living water that we keep reading about in Proverbs that Yeshua spoke about, shall keep it within thee, it shall be fitted in thy lips. Fitted in thy lips. And when you give it, you see that? The truth come out. And here we go with trusting again. That thy trust, and this is kind of together, right? Oh, it looks like we're getting into some statements here. Okay, so bow down not thy ear and hear the words of the wise. Bow, okay, let's go back. Bow down thy ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. Thou shalt be fitted with all my fitted be fitted within thy lips, that thy trust may be in the Father. Trust. You see that? That trust may be within you. Do this so that there's a trust, there's a relationship. I have made known. What do we know? What is it saying? Yada, yada. I have made known to thee this day, right now, this day, even to you. Have not I written? See, the Father's speaking right now. You see, this portion right here, he's speaking. Let's see if we could get that in there. You see that? He changes right here. Oh, let's get to it. All right, right there. Look at what he's written. Look at what he's written. Okay. And he's saying, have not I written to thee, you excellent things and counsels and knowledge? Excellent. He's actually stopping what he's doing and he's speaking outside. And he's actually teaching us truth here. Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsels and knowledge, that I might make thee know, beautiful, the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee? Let's read that again. What a beautiful, he just gets out of what he's giving and just says, for it is pleasant thing that thou keep them within me. Bow down thy ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou shalt keep them within thee. Thy shall be fitted these words within thy lips. That thy trust may be in the Father. I have made known to thee this day, even to thee today. Have not I written to thee excellent things and counsels and knowledge, that I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that sent unto thee? That's the Father speaking to me right now. That's why this person read it again. He's speaking to me. See, you have to realize uh, he's he said that, he is still saying it. Okay, he's saying, you see them coming to you. Don't you see the certainty of these words of truth? And Father, you showed me. See, this is a thing between me and the Father. He's cutting and he's talking to me. Father, I do see the certainty of your words. I see them. You have proven that your words are true. As we read along and focus on your scriptures and these proverbs, you have proven time and time again that they're true. And the more we focus on them, it's like a truth, a jewel that just keeps, you just see different aspects of them. It just keeps coming. This blessing keeps coming. And Father, I'm just happy. I'm just happy that you've given me the ability to give these words out to these people. And very blessed. And very blessed to give these words out to you so that you can learn the ways of life. And he's saying, see, don't you see that my words are true? Don't you see that when you trust me, I will make it known to you? That's what he's telling. That's you see, to know, you see it? Yeah, duh. Yeah, duh. Okay? That is the relationship. You see the relationship, the knowing? You see that? Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for doing that. Should have should have started with the prayer to prepare, and it did say one earlier, but gonna gonna stop and just thank the Father. Father in heaven, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving those words. Uh, this person's sorry, very sorry, and apologize for the times this person didn't listen and thought this person knew better. Even though this person may have had truths, it was the application of that got me into trouble. You showed me what's right, and you calmed down the people who went against me, humbled them just as you told me you would. And you given me a platform to continue forward, to grow from what this person did in the past, to transition into the future, and to give the message as this person should have done originally. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father in heaven, for blessing me. So be it in your name. Thank you. I just had to say that. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, let's continue. Rob not the poor. See, still he's making it clear, rob not the poor. Don't hold this from them. Rob not the poor because he is poor. So don't put them down just because they don't know this stuff. They got to be told this stuff. Neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. And that he's telling me that. He's telling me that. For Yah will plead their cause. He will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoiled them. Make no friendship with an angry man. That's what he said. And with a furious man thou shalt not go. Because this person wanted to go to him, but you can't go to those people. Lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul. Should have. If only this person knew this back then. But not thou one of them be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. Okay, gives pledges. Okay, gives these pledges just to sound good. Okay, if thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee? You see that? They take the foundations. This person came in the beginning of 1999. My friend Aharon came at that time. We were there at the beginning, and we set the foundation, and people took advantage of that, and I don't want to say the word, but they took it and they wrecked it up. They wrecked it up, and then they see the results of their actions and wondering why it's not working anymore. It's because the elders are not blessing your hands. Okay? You have to. It's sad. It really is. But this person's here to restore. To restore and just cutting down the tree. Cutting down the tree, because who was the person who planted the tree? Okay? The people who planted the tree are cutting the tree down. Okay, and we're going to plant a new tree in its place. That's what we're going to do. Okay? We have to cut the cyst off. These people who have tarnished these ways and have made a mockery out of it and are just fools just need to be taken away. But the thing is, okay, the poor in spirit, we cannot oppress them. And that's what keeps calling me out is, although there's people who have taken advantage of others, those are the people we need to cast out, but there's still people that are meant to be saved. And that's, Aharon kind of spoke to me about that yes, even though these groups have fallen, there's still people out there, a few people out there, wherever they're at, who are willing to, they're saying, look, we get it, we see the results, We get what you're doing. We see the rod. We see what happened. Now it's time to say, okay, here we are. Let's build up again. Let's clean this up. Do it again, and not allow other people to come into the camp and defile it. Okay, we've learned the lesson. We learned the lesson. Let's not allow another 15 years to pass where we get into the same ruts. Right? It says, "Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set." Uh, see, you see that? You see that? See thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean people. He will be diligent, he will stand before the kings. That is a very didn't expect to learn all that in portion 22. The father actually stops and gives some not just simple sayings, but look, he's saying he's going to stop and said, "Can't you see? Can't you see where this is going?" It looks like we're transitioning into another portion, a different area of learning, different means of giving proverbs, and this is good. This is good. Absolutely. Father, you've blessed me. You've given me strength to give truths to these people. And I thank you for it, Father. Please give these people strength, especially those who've been humbled and are willing to listen and to learn what the Yeda persona is. What is this Jedi character? Okay, that I'm learning about, that we're learning about in fiction, that we've learned about as a child. What is this person? What you're showing us something visual that we can understand, but it's in the spiritual, it's in the supernatural. We can be guardians, okay, to our kids. We can be guardians to those who are weak and innocent. We can stand up for integrity. We can do these things, but we have to be trained, okay? We went through the simulation. It's now time for trials. Who's ready to stand up and be knighted? Who's really ready to stand up and be counted at this time, to allow the sword, right? To allow the rod of correction to come upon their shoulders and be knighted. That's where we started. We started with that message of integrity and virtue, and we lost it. People just, and you're starting to see throughout history. This is what's happened. People take something that was pure, and they couldn't understand the symbologies and metaphors, and then they made it into this. Uh, they they made the metaphor. They'll actually wear it, and they think it's the metaphor that saves them, when it's really the truth within it. And you see this throughout history over and over again with various peoples. We need to get back to the truth. We need to get back to the truth, my friends, and see what's important. It's not too late for us. This is a time for the seers, okay, to not be afraid and to tell the truth. This person has trained some people early on. To, it's this is a class. It really is. It's a session. It's really for people who are hungry to learn. Okay, and you guys need to see someone, okay, who is practicing the ways. Okay, not just is talking about the ways, but actually seeing someone who's practicing the ways. Okay, who is sharing with you the ways of life, and to show that. And it's a shame that a 40-year-old person has to do it because we have adults who can't do it. We have elders who can't stand up for what's right. Okay. So the Father called me, right, in my early 30s, in my mid 30s, to go out there and tell them, because he's like, they're not going to say anything. They just want to get likes and views and people to gloat about them. That's all they want. They just want people to be on their site and make them look all great. Okay, that's not what we're going to do here. Okay, we're going to focus on the Father. There's no one else is going to be lifted up at this time. We're going to lift up our King, okay? We're going to lift up the Father in heaven and put him in the place he should be. And all of us are going to be humble. You see, this person is going to go through all the scorners, all the haughty ones, and get out the rod of correction and humble them. They're going to kneel, okay? That's what this person's going to do. And when everyone kneels, this person is going to say, Father, everyone's kneeling, and I'm going to kneel at his feet, and we're all going to kneel before him. That's the way, that's why this is being blessed, okay? Because of that calling, because we really want the Father to be blessed and need him to keep me humble. And he's saying, Yehunatan, I've seen your you could hear him, seen your humility, you've done what I've asked, you've lowered yourself. Now I'm going to give you the keys to do what you need to do, because you put me first. And I appreciate you witnessing before men and women out there that that I am the way, the truth, and the life. And that's what that's what someone needs to do. Father, just being the servant to tell these people the ways of life. And will always, always believe. Not just through my personal beliefs, okay? That's what this person thought before. It's about personal beliefs. No, it's about doing. It's about being responsible, having integrity, and doing the right thing. Right. Anyways, take care, everyone, and see you next time. Bye bye now.